Today is a very special video. We are doing a celebration of sorts because we are celebrating that I have almost filmed 100 video reviews on manga and manhwa. Hello friends, happy Friday. So very excited that you're here. As I shared, I am doing a celebration video. I wanted to do something to celebrate the fact that I have filmed almost 100 video reviews, first impressions on this YouTube channel. I wanted to film 100, but I'm really excited because for the Laura's Read and Review Shoujo Spree, I wanted the next review to be the 100th video review because it just felt special that way, like having this event and having the 100th episode, so to speak, was just really, really cool. And speaking of, it is the third and final round for my event. Be sure to go vote if you haven't already. There are 8 manga. I will be reading and reviewing the top 3 most voted manga series next month. But next Friday, I will be announcing and sharing the manga that I'll be reading, and I'll be going through how all of the voting went for each round because it has been insane and crazy. And I'm so excited to see what wins and what I'll be reading. The link to vote is down below. But yes, today I don't really know how I'm gonna do this video. I don't have any plans. So the only plan that I have, well, first, let me rewind. Shout out to, I think her name is Fraulein Gratz. I'll leave her handle here. I asked, I think a month ago, at some point, what should I do to celebrate the fact of hitting this milestone of 100 video reviews? She was one of the people. I had a few different mentions, and I'm hoping to do all of them at some point, including the manga collection tour, so definitely stay tuned. I'm gonna do that sometime over the summer because I want to do the same chart that I did last time of breaking down the demographics and what I have read, what I haven't read. So that is a goal for this summer. But yeah, she was one of the people that gave a suggestion, and she's like, how about a look back video? Like, do you still have the series that you've read? You know, have your taste changed? And I'm like, what a great idea, because I honestly don't remember all of the reviews that I've done on this channel. I know I technically do have more than 100 reviews because there's like 2 or 3 videos that I've done of series or first impression videos that I didn't super love, but I did film those videos because either there was some kind of voting going on and it won, or it was for some kind of event and it also won. For this video, I'm only sticking with the manga that I'm actually recommending, and I'm really, really excited. So I figure what we'll do is I'm gonna do take it over to a video screen recording. There we go, screen recording of going through of the manga that I have reviewed on this channel starting back 3 years ago. And again, I don't really know all that I have, and I told myself I could not look at this video or look at my playlist on YouTube until I went to film this video. So let's go ahead and dive in. Hey there, this is Laura from the future, and she finished filming this video, but I'm coming back because I forgot to hit the screen record button and didn't record my screen. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do this, but I do apologize if I'm looking more at the screen than I am at the camera because I originally filmed it to screen record and I just forgot to do that, so my bad. So I knew for certain that Perfect World definitely was the first manga that I ever reviewed on this channel. It was one of the few, I wouldn't say it got me into manga, but I very vividly remember picking up this first volume, reading it for 4th of July weekend, and then crying. I have since read the entire series. The first volume I definitely think is my favorite. I did pass this series on to a friend, but I really do wish I actually would have done a full series review because it was very dramatic, and then I was just like, oh my goodness, I can't handle this. But then the next day after I already sent it to my friend, I was like, I sort of actually did like it, but it is what it is. The next one is Karate Heat, which is a digital manga. I loved this first manga or first volume so much. I've also read the entire series. It's 3 volumes. It was very much cut short. You could definitely tell that there was much more to the series than what the creator could do, but I loved it. It so reminded me of Hinata and Kageyama from Haikyuu, but just more centered around karate. It's still very good. I would definitely recommend it. I think the first volume is the best because it felt less, it's like a cliffhanger of sorts, or less ends were tied up. So I felt more satisfied with the first volume than I did the third. I think I gave the third volume 5 stars though. Next up was Sayonara Football, and this was one of the first manga that I got a digital copy from NetGalley and decided to review. I do have somewhere, we'll see it. I did review volume 2, and it's funny because last year I decided to get rid of the prequel series because there's also, was it Sayonara Football, Farewell called My Dear Kramer, which I have not read. I did not like that the main heroine was not the same as it was in this prequel series. But then here recently, I rebought the 2 volumes because I really, really enjoyed it. It's a very fun, short little series. The next is That Wolf Boy's Mine. I also have a full series review of this manga. And shout out to my husband. I bought this on, I think it's maybe when I was getting into Macari or just shopping on there, but I don't remember what it was. I remember telling my husband about it, and he's like, this seems right up your alley. And he was 100% right. I really love that series. I feel like out of all of Yoko Nogiri's series, I think this one is my favorite. I really, really like Those Not So Sweet Boys, but I'm hesitant to say that is my favorite just because I have not actually reread that series. I've read That Wolf Boy's Mine like 3 or 4 times. I really like it. Love and Focus I've reread too, and that's a going as well, but I wouldn't say it's my favorite out of them. Beauty Pop. I love Beauty Pop, and it has, I don't even know what to say about it. I really love this series. I'm trying to think of how I got into it. I feel like my friend Mariah Jane recommended it to me. My library had it. It was amazing. So very well done. I need to come back to it since it has been 3 years, and I know there were some parts I wasn't like super fond of, but overall, I really, really enjoyed it. Kimi ni Todoke From Me to You, the manga series, I feel like really, Library Wars was ultimately my very first shoujo manga that I read, but I really feel like Kimi ni Todoke is the one that put shoujo manga on my radar. I have talked about this, I think I did during the 25 days of shoujo manga, of how this series impacted me and how I really feel like it jump-started my love for shoujo and how amazing it is, because I feel like before that, I mainly was really only familiar with shonen anime and shonen manga, so I felt like this series just jump-started so much. I was about to say I have a review of all of these, but obviously we're looking at them right now. But yes, love Kimi ni Todoke. There is the second video of Sayonara Football. It's funny because I don't know why I split it up like that. Well, I guess because they weren't out at the same time, but I remember pre-ordering this second volume. Loved it just as much as the first. And there is Those Not So Sweet Boys, the full series. This was a series I read in a full day. I remember I started on a Sunday morning, just gonna read 1 or 2 volumes, read the entire thing that day. So I definitely really enjoyed it. It may not be my favorite because I haven't reread it, but I love that series. Beast Master. So out of the videos that I think I have done, I think this is the only video that I did not film where I had like a lot of sunlight, even if it was cloudy. Having some light is natural light is better than no light. This one though, I remember filming it in the evening because my friend Becca, we were talking about it and she was like, hey, I would love to see your thoughts on this. And so I was like, you know what? Even though the lighting's really bad, we're just gonna go ahead and film it. And that is what I did. I have reread that series 2 or 3 times. It's been a while though. I need to come back to it because I loved Beastmaster. Leo is so sweet. He is so precious. Next up is Cutie and the Beast. It has been so long. I'm like, do I even remember what this is about? I think I've read 3 volumes and I really liked volume 1. I remember liking the conversations in volume 2. I don't know why I didn't continue it. I don't know why I didn't continue it. I honestly have no idea, but I have reviewed that. And A Sign of Affection, First Impression, yes. 8 volumes out now of A Sign of Affection, and I've honestly super considered coming back and doing like a full review of the series, of the volumes that I've released thus far. I have gotten suggestions for that, but I just haven't felt ready, and I don't know if like I'm wanting the series to conclude and then do a full video, because I feel like there's still a lot more story to go, and it's been so good. But at one point, hopefully, yes, I will have a full review of that series. And of course, Play It Cool, guys, one of my favorite series ever. I love this. I remember reading this manga volume in my car, waiting for my kids to get out of school. I was at the car line and just laughing. I had the windows rolled down and I remember bursting out laughing at multiple points. Super enjoyable experience, and I think I remember being very happy and very giddy when filming that video because I just was so thankful to have a series like this, and to this day it definitely continues to be one of my favorites. And there's That Wolf Boy's Mine, the video series that I was talking about. Oh my goodness, Kamomo Confisery. I am so thankful I have a review of this series. I remember somebody reached out to me and they're like, thank you for having a review of this because I decided to pick it up. Absolutely loved it. And it's why I focus my channel so much on video reviews, because I want to be able to, yes, get my rambles out and be able to share my feelings and thoughts with other people. But it's because of that, I hope that these reviews will help other people, that they can see like, oh, this sounds good. Because, you know, sometimes there's series that you want to try, but you're like, I don't know. While you can read a lot of like written reviews. Sometimes I feel like it's better to see somebody like in a video sharing their thoughts because then you can see their expressions and whatnot. This series, I feel like I love the series, but I feel like this video especially is very meaningful to me because I have had people reach out about saying, hey, I picked it up because of you. And I just think it's really cool when that happens, though I am sorry on people's wallets when that does happen, but hopefully people have liked it. I have really enjoyed that series. Oh my goodness, When We Shout for Love. This is a digital manga and I loved volumes 1 and 2. Legit remember being on cloud 9, feeling like I was at a music concert. Incredible reading experience. And then volume 3, I was like, what happened? What happened? It wrapped up really quickly. I remember not being a fan of the 3rd volume. It was not bad. It was not bad, but being on cloud 9 for the first 2 volumes and then not for volume 3, still to this day, really hurts. When I was doing, I guess I could put it here, when I was making the graphics for my physical manga wish list of like that I want to see licensed, this series almost I was going to put on there, but I feel like I just don't know if I would pick it up. I would reread volumes 1 and 2 for sure, but volume 3 just went a different direction that I was not super happy with, but I would still recommend it. I know for sure in that video, I highly recommend volumes 1 and 2. Destiny's Hand was a really fun series. I believe it's still free on Amazon right now. I don't know that 100% for certain, but that was actually why I read it. One of the first digital series that I got that was just free. And I did at some point buy the omnibus, but then I never read it again. And I was like, well, I don't know. And I've just never thought about coming back to it, but it's a very fun short pirate series if you're looking for something that has pirates. Golden Japanesque. Oh my goodness. I so want this manga series. I only looks like read 2 volumes. It's 4 volumes or 5 volumes out now. I so wish that this manga would come back from hiatus. I think it's been on hiatus for a while, but it's pretty crazy because the manga creator was working on Golden Japanesque and then she picked up another series and was working on that at the same time as Golden Japanesque. And I think she had like a 3rd series. Literally no exaggeration. I know she was working on at least 2 different series at once. And I think she got really sick. And I'm like, how can you work on so many series at one time? I just couldn't even fathom it, to be honest. But I hope ultimately that she is taking care of herself and that eventually hopefully we'll get the end, because I think somebody was saying like the next volume, it was only like 7 volumes or something like that. It was going to be really short. So we're almost at the end of this series. And I was actually just thinking the other day that I should reread it to see if I still want to keep it. I'm hesitant to get rid of the volumes because I don't want it to get off of hiatus, sort of like how Not Your Idol was. It's been on hiatus for many years, comes back. I'm like, I don't want to get rid of it because I do know that if it came back from hiatus, I definitely would buy it again because I really enjoyed it. Sea Princess Azuri. It has been so long since I've read this. I unfortunately don't have this manga anymore. It was a Tokyo Pop series, and while you could get volume 1 you could get really affordable, but volume 2, the art style was very different and it was much more expensive, and volume 3 was like non-existent. And so I unfortunately decided to hand off this series to a friend, but it was a very sweet, I feel like a middle school geared kind of story and sort of on a cliffhanger, but I did really enjoy what I read of it, and I thought the design of the mermaids was very unique. Oh my goodness, the next one is Dive, and I handed this off to a friend of mine. I loved reading Dive. I loved the 3rd volume so much. I have not seen the anime. I know that this manga, it's an adaptation of the anime since the anime was like an original kind of story. Loved volume 3, but I just knew that I would never come back to it, and I forgot that I have reviewed this one as well, but it is a great mini sports manga that I would highly recommend as well. Unlike Karate Heat, this one actually does have closure at the end. Very much enjoyed my time reading that. Oh my goodness, the next one is 1 Week Friends. My friend Maeve at Maeve Ever Manga, she recommended this series to me, and I used to have volumes 6 and 7. I read the other volumes from my library, and this was a really wonderful reading experience. I should come back to this one because it's definitely been some time, and I know how it started and how it ended, but I don't fully remember how things unfolded in the middle, but I definitely know there were some tears that were shed because she, I think every week, like her memory resets or like she loses her memories, and so she's making friends, but she doesn't remember them after a week. And you find out why that's happening much later on, and it was very good. And the main guy was so, I remember feeling like he was just so amazing. He was so amazing because he was the one who kept befriending telling her over and over. And I think at the beginning, like, he just liked her. He wasn't in love with her or anything. So it just was very heartfelt seeing their journey together. Spy Family, which I have not came back to in so long. I am woefully behind on that series. I sort of temporarily dropped it due to some things that were said to me. And then I know my friend Danielle, her and I have talked about it, and she's really like stirred me to want to come back to the series because I love the characters. I mean, they were amazing. It was a very, very fun read. I don't even know what volume we are right now physically, but it's just funny to me that I still have this because I forget that I have Spy Family and have reviewed it. That was 2 years ago. Wow, I am definitely woefully behind. And as you can see with the next one, Play It Cool Guys Volume 2, I don't think I did any other like singular reviews, video reviews for later series, but when this series concludes, we will come back. We will come back, no doubts. And Medalist, yes, I very vividly remember reading Medalist after I read Blue Lock. I got approved on NetGalley to read a digital copy, like, so this was way before the physical license was and even the anime announcement. I was not going to film a review about this series, but I could not stop thinking about it. And I know distinctly I said that in the video that I just could not stop thinking about this series. And I'm like, I have to get it out because it was unlike anything at that time that I had read, where it really captures the pressure that I feel like are on children to perform well, to have where their parents are like, you will get into the Olympics one day and we're going to help you be the best of the best, more or less. I really need to catch up on it because I think we have 2 volumes out physically now, but I know my library did get Medalist Volume 1 physically, so I'm hoping that they will continue to get it physically and I can catch up, because even though I didn't read any more after that, mainly because I just didn't want to pay the price for the digital manga volumes, I have wanted to see what happens next because it was very, very good. High School Debut, I love this manga. I was thinking the other day as I was rearranging my bookshelf, I'm like, I need to reread it because I love these characters. It was so much fun. Shout out to my friend Maeve. She had sent me these or sold these copies to me, and I deeply, deeply loved it. It was so much fun. It was a blast. It was a blast. Transformers, the manga, me and my kiddo, we did a review of this, and it was so much fun talking about it. It is hard that, like, I feel like it has not performed better, but that experience I had with him is definitely like living rent free in my head. It is a very special video. I'm very thankful that we did. We still have not gone back to read volumes 2 and 3, but we loved volume 1 reading that together. Skip and Loafer, I forgot I had this. I don't remember anything about this video. I forgot I even had it. I was up to date with Skip and Loafer, and then I dropped the series, not because I disliked it, just because I was collecting too many series at the time, and this is one that didn't make the cut. Need to see if my library actually has it, because I think I read up to volume 3, and I really, really enjoyed it. And anytime I've seen spoilers of it, like of people reading the manga, I always look at them because I really like the characters, and so I need to come back to it. Pretty shocked that I have a review of it. Didn't know I did. Honey So Sweet. This is one of the series that I do regret selling off. I never came back to it, but what's his name? Taiga? He is one of the sweetest shoujo heroes I've ever read. It's just funny thinking about, I'm like, he has those delinquent vibes, and I'm really into delinquent manga right now, and I'm like, why did I get rid of it? I don't know why I did. I think it was one of my friends had read it for the first time a few months ago or last year, and after seeing her excitement for it, I did think about rebuying it, but I was like, I said, I just don't know. It was sort of like I wanted to buy volumes 1 and 8 because those are my 2 favorite volumes. And I'm like, you can't just buy the beginning and the end and don't buy the middle. I mean, yes, I could, but I didn't want to do that. That is a very sweet shoujo series. Oh man, I was reincarnated as the villainess in Otome game, but the boys love me anyway. I loved volume 1. I love volume 1. I'm pretty sure I have a review of volume 2 on my channel, but I dropped the series after volume 3 because I didn't like how unhinged everybody got. I did talk about it in my villainous manga video that I did. It was my honorable mention. Still very precious series, and I'm so happy though that so many people like that plot twist. I unfortunately was not one of those people, but I love the first 2 volumes very, very much. It is very fun. Love that Misty, I believe is the main girl's name. She's incredible. She's amazing. Strobe Edge, my first Iosaki Saka manga. I remember staying up till like 2 a.m. reading this. I have to wonder if I was sleep deprived when I filmed this video because I feel like every day that I read it, I stayed up late reading it it because it was so angsty, but I couldn't get enough of it. It was very, very good. That is what got me on the Iosaki Saka hype train for sure. Love and Focus, there's another one by Yoko Nogiri. I buddy read that one with Mark. I need to come back to this one because I liked it, but out of her series, it's the only one I haven't gone back to just randomly flip through. Oh gosh, is it Shuriken and Pleats? I loved volume 1 of this. This is by the same creator of Vampire Knight. So good. I mean, I haven't read Vampire Knight, I'm talking about this series. I loved it very, very much, but I did not like the things that happened in volume 2. Volume 1, amazing though. Very much enjoyed that. Oh my goodness, Doing His Best to Confess. That was such a sweet volume. I need to go back and get the other volumes. I think it's only a 4-volume series. Super sweet. I really enjoyed this one as well. I forgot I had a review of that. Heroine for Hire is another one I really enjoyed. It's about a girl who can do martial arts. I think the guy basically sort of wants her to be his bodyguard, and she sort of agrees, but they start, having feelings for one another. It was a very fun series. I really enjoyed, I think, each and every volume. Had a really great time. That's all I can remember about it, but I know that I enjoyed it. Giant Spider and Me, I don't remember why I picked this one up. I borrowed it from my library, and I even know that I wrote a Christmas article for Beneath the Tangles. I'll leave a link down below a few years ago of how this series impacted me. Don't remember much about the series except for I really did enjoy it. It was very sweet. Oh my goodness. I'm only a stepmother, but my daughter is just so cute. This is a light novel recommendation. It was my very first light novel that I ever read. I believe I read it like on Thanksgiving Day, like after Thanksgiving lunch, because we usually lunch instead of dinner. Read it in one sitting. It was so good, and I'm so crestfallen that this is not physically available. I really love the manhwa. Super thankful that we have it. You can see it right back there. I've been buddy reading it with some people on the Beneath the Tangles team, and it's been amazing, but I will say the light novel is very, very good. I love the manhwa, don't get me wrong, but I love the light novel even more. It was an incredible experience. Definitely makes me think at times that I would love to get back into novels, well, specifically light novels, because I really love the way that they're written, and this one was just a blast. It was so good, but unfortunately you can't find it anywhere because the publisher closed their doors. I heard they were doing some shady things, and so yeah, that was a huge letdown. And Kaiju number 8, First Impression. I don't know what I said about this manga, but I really love it. It's one of the few Shonen Jump or Shonen series I'm actively picking up and just deeply, deeply love, but I don't know what I said about volume 1. But there it is. I swear I won't bother you again. Really love this one. Just caught it finally on the series last month during Shae Geeks Out live stream for her 30 and 30 challenge. It was great, very wonderful. Continue to love it. So thankful my friend Selwan that she recommended it to me because it has been a favorite in my collection. Imakoi, Now I'm in Love. I loved volume 1. I was approved to read a digital copy of this, and I know I mentioned in one of my reading wrap-up videos when the final one released, I had planned to do a full video review of the entire series, but I didn't super love volume or the final volume. I felt a little bit of mixed feelings, and I think it's just because I was already feeling not mixed feeling, but I was already like having some real life stuff go on. So I was feeling a little bit down, and then to hear that the manga creator wasn't going to be writing manga anymore most likely, and that the series was ending, I just felt like I was more sad about everything coming to a final conclusion. So I need to come back to it because even if I didn't love the final volume, I love the series. Sanomi and Yagyu are amazing. I'm here for them. I love them. I love them in the series. And of course, Haikyuu. I finally did a review of it. I was really excited, even though my mic went out like halfway through this video. I was very upset and very excited. Me and my friend are actually going to be buddy reading it this year. Apparently, it's been 2 years since I have read Haikyuu, and I'm like, I need to fix that. I need to do a reread. I read Haikyuu fanfiction all the time. Follow a bunch of Haikyuu content. I love Haikyuu. Can't get enough of it. Dragon Knight's Beloved. That was, I think, a first impression for that one for volume 1. I remember really liking volume 1 a lot, and I liked volume 2, but for some reason, I later on dropped the series. I'm not fully sure why I did that, but I did like the first volume. The art is amazing. I've actually wanted to get My Dog is a Death God, which is by the same artist, because the art is just so breathtaking and so beautiful. And I finally read Orange and Orange Future. This was before we had Orange, was it Chuyu Dear One, I think is the name of that. But yeah, that was an incredible experience. Very emotional, very emotional. Flower in a Storm is a 2-volume series, super underrated. I think I had heard about it from my friend Meg. I found it randomly at a bookshop that we went to, was used, and absolutely loved it and bought it, and it's something I really enjoy. Anonymous Noise. So I didn't know that a lot of people don't actually like this series, but I loved it. I loved it. My friend had recommended it to me, and it is one of the few very messy love triangles that I really enjoyed. And I think it's just because of the music aspect. So very good. So very good. But it is messy. I ain't gonna lie. It is a very messy series, but it's a very, very good one. Maybe not as messy as No Longer Heroine, because I do feel like Nina in this series, for the most part, makes a lot better decisions than Hattori does in No Longer Heroine. Run on Your New Legs. Oh man, I did a first impression. Didn't even realize that. I know my friend Jessica has asked if I would do, or at one point she did ask if I would do a full video review of the series, and I don't know why I didn't. I still have that series, really enjoyed it, wish it was longer, but it was very, very good. Rosie and the Labyrinth, oh my goodness. My friend Maeve recommended this series to me, and while I'm typically not into manga, spooky, horror kind of thing, I did really enjoy this. I have reread this series, very good, still have it in my collection. Yep, right over here. It is amazing, has a lot of heart, very good, cried at the end. Fruits Basket is probably the only on this list. It's not a negative review, but I sobbed my eyes out when I was filming this video, and I purposely knew, or I knew I was going to cry, and I purposely took a happy thumbnail photo in the beginning because I knew I would look like a hot mess when filming. It's probably one of the very, I mean, I try and be transparent in all of my videos, but I feel like especially this video, I was very transparent about my feelings. I was very vulnerable in that video. So Fruits Basket is one I've really wanted to come back to because I feel like I did not have the best reading experience in the sense I was woefully unprepared emotionally for how wrecked I would be. I see myself in Toru a lot, and it was very hard for me to see so much of myself in her that I emotionally was in shambles this entire series, and I only finished it. I had a lot of friends say, hey, if you're not doing okay, you should drop it. And I was like, no, I'm gonna finish this series because I have so many friends who love it, and I need to see it end, or I need to see it to the end. I needed to see, ultimately it came to, I'm like, I need to see Toru heal. I need to see her be her real self, not cover up her pain with smiling or encouraging other people. I need her to have a raw breakdown. Like, I needed that for my own well-being at that time. So it's not a bad series. I would still recommend it, but dude, you need to emotionally like brace your heart because I felt a little bit deceived by a lot of the community, not friends specifically who had warned me, but I feel like overall in the community, we see just the romance, and this story is much more than just a romance. Learn that the hard way. But Springtime by the Window, this is a series I ended up selling. Don't know why. Really enjoyed these first 2 volumes. I think it's because it was very cute, but I wanted more. I wanted more. I loved the secondary couple more than the first. I think that's why I ended up selling it, because I just couldn't come back to rereading it when I wanted more of the secondary couple. I'm the Villainess, I'm Taming the Final Boss. Absolutely love this series. So very good. I've reread it quite a few times since this video for sure. Very fun villainous manga, and I have watched the anime that just covers these first 3 volumes of the manga. I have definitely considered, strongly considered picking up the light novels, but I've got to finish the light novels I have before I move on. The Ice Guy and His Cool Female Colleague. This was so cool. I read this when my AC was out, which was not cool, but I read this when my AC was out, and so it was very hot. I thought it funny that at the end, there is a note from the creator saying where she works, it's extremely hot. And so she was just embracing all of the coolness of this series, no pun intended. I love this manga. I think I moved my volumes, but I have been collecting it physically because it is amazing, super sweet, absolutely love it. Why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's Mansion, continuing to deeply love the series. I am planning to do a full video review of the whole series eventually when it's done releasing. I've loved every moment of it. It is really good. And this last volume, I think it was volume 6 that we got, is amazing. Top tier. So very good. A Silent Voice. I read this, I guess, a year ago, and when me and my friend Mariah Jane, when we organized Finding God Anime, a devotional for otakus, I did a similar event like I have done with the shoujo event in the sense of, it's anime only, like the devotions are about the anime, but if it had a manga, I put them all into do a form of sorts, and I did how I did with this, where people can vote, and then I will read the top 3 most voted. A Silent Voice was one of them, and while the movie is good, this manga was very, very good and very heart-hitting. I have not bought it personally for my collection because I had a feeling I probably would never reread it again just because of how hard I cried, but I deeply loved what I read. Full Metal Alchemist was another manga that won during that time. It was the first time I'd ever read Full Metal Alchemist. I had never seen anything about it. I never got the meme of like, the date that's on the clock. I never got that meme, and then I read, Full Metal Alchemist, and I totally got it. Scar's my favorite character in the series. Deeply loved him. What's really cool is from that event, I also read Yona of the Dawn. That was amazing. That was a whirlwind of so many emotions, and was just so thankful it won. It was the only shoujo one, unfortunately, but I don't think we had a lot of shoujo anime that had devotions about them. Sorry, I had to change positions. I sort of forgot what I was saying, but yeah, I was really excited that Yona of the Dawn won. That is the moment that kicked off me reading Yona of the Dawn, because I meant to read it for a long time, but I was like intimidated by the length. But once you honestly start reading Yona of the Dawn, you sort of breeze through it. We swore to be in the next life, and that's when things got weird. This was amazing. This was a recommendation from Mommy Weeb at Meet the Weeb Family. So good. I think it was like volumes 1 and 2 used, and then I got volume 3. I love it. I have definitely reread this series quite a few times. I cry at the end every single time. It's super emotional, but it's super good. I mean, it has a happy ending. It's sort of like I guess it would be like a backstory, because it's not really a like epilogue, but you see the backstory, and it's so heartfelt. The Earl and the Fairy. I really loved the first 2 volumes were my favorite. Volumes 3 and 4 were really good, but the first 2 volumes were amazing. I think if you are looking for a manga that has a lot of Western fantasy vibes, in the sense where you have like fairies, fae, mermaids, this is your series. It's just a bummer that I don't know if it's out of print, but it's definitely out of stock. I have volumes 2 through 4 on back order. Next up, Magic Knight Ray Earth, one of the few magical manga I've read as an adult, if not the only one. I haven't read any magical girl manga. I don't know why I said it like that. I mean, I read like 1 volume of Sailor Moon when I was a kid, but that was it. Yeah, this is the only magical girl manga I've read. I was really bummed that none of the magical girl manga made it to the 3rd round in my shoujo event, so I think I'm gonna have to like brainstorm a way to come up with some kind of event that's just magical girl manga and just read magical girl stuff for that month. Daily report about my witch senpai. Oh, I can't wait for volume 3 to finally release. 7 Seas keeps pushing it back. I hope no more. This is one of the most reread manga in my collection. I deeply, deeply loved it. Shout out to the shoujo community on Instagram. They influenced me to read it. Beast of Abigail. Typically, I'm not into paranormal kind of series. Wait, what's the other one? It's not paranormal. This one has like the vampires and werewolves, and there's no vampires in this series. So if you need some werewolf representation, this series has your back. Very fun, heartfelt, made me cry like near the end, because I reread volume 4 a while back, and just, oh, it's so good. It's so good. I really, really love this series. I wish the creator was able to have given us more. Unfortunately, she was not able to, but it was good. It was good what we had. Blue Box Volume 1. Oh my goodness. So during, I forget which event it was. Maybe it was for the 25 Days of Shoujo Manga. I did a giveaway that you could suggest 1 series. It didn't matter what demographic, but 1 series you would love to see me read and review. And then if you were randomly selected, I would read the manga of your choice. At the time, Blue Box had just released. I am woefully behind on this series. Oh my goodness. I think his name's Taiki. He reminds me of Daichi from Haikyuu so much. He's amazing. Very excited for the anime. Next up is Mars. Man, shout out to Amazon for having this on Amazon Prime reading. This was the first manga I ever read as a teenager, probably like ever, where I actually knew this was manga. My best friend was reading the series as it was releasing, and I read up to the point where like not all the volumes, but whatever had been released up to that point I had read. It was amazing. And it's cool because I went out for my birthday with my friend Meg, and we had talked about Mars. I talked about my feelings about it, and she loves Mars. It's one of her favorite series. I decided to come back to it, and it was an incredible experience coming back to the manga that got me into it. Very, very good. The villain is one of the most compelling shoujo villains I've ever read. Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. Love this series. Shout out to Shae Geeks Out, because she had did a, I don't know if she did, I know she did a review after the final volume, but she had just talked about how much she loves this series so much. I was like, I have to know the hype. Takane and Hana, one of the funniest series I've read, but unfortunately I did unhaul it this past year. I just never come back to it. I have good memories with it and I laughed so incredibly much. It's a very fun age gap kind of story. Like, yeah, you have to turn your brain off for this kind of age gap. I mean, nothing necessarily inappropriate outside of the age gap itself, but the characters are hilarious. I had a really good time with it, but yeah, I just never came back to it and decided it's time to pass it on and let somebody else read it and have a chance with it. From far away, okay, if we got Red River, if we got those license announcements, surely next month, maybe Viz can make our day and they can say, from far away, 3-in-1 omnibus. I'm here, I'm seated, I will take it. I will take it. So hopefully it's good. It's amazing. You need to read it. It is available digitally. That's how I think I had, as you can see in the thumbnail, I had the first 3 volumes at the time. I read the rest digitally. I could not get enough of this series. So very good. One of the best shoujo isekai that's out there. I mean, it is the GOAT for a reason in my opinion. It's very good and very, I think if you have a lot of issues with modern isekai where like these people get isekai, they already know the language in this foreign land, they already OP. No, our main girl is not like that. She gotta learn the language. She's in constant danger. She really grows as a heroine and she sees how being herself is the best person that she can be. Maybe it sounds cliche, but it really fits the story so well. Very beautiful. Highly, highly recommend it. Embrace Your Size. I thought it was Embrace Your Own Size, but Embrace Your Size. This is a non-fictional kind of manga. It's the only non-fictional manga I've read and it was very touching. I really enjoyed reading this. It's a josei. I have thought about coming back to it because I really was encouraged by the things that were shared in this and hearing the creator's own story with Wait and how she's viewed herself and her own confidence and such. It was very relatable in a lot of ways and I was just very thankful that this exists because I definitely needed it. Aru Haru Ride, the second Iosaki Saka manga that I read, and I am so thankful for this series because I really enjoyed it for sure. I did feature it last week or earlier this week in my top 5 Wednesday video about merch. Manga's so good that you had to buy merch. A few of my friends gifted me this series. I think it was like Pippa Strawberry Shoujo on Instagram and my friend Margaret's Manga. They have both gifted me volumes and there might be a few other people that I'm missing that did. And so this series is very special to me for that reason because I know at the time that's when my AC was out. And so I think I read this right at the tail end because we didn't have AC for a month and it was like June or July. And so when we got AC, I started binge reading this series. Very, very good. Messy middle, but it is so, so good. Kenka Bancho Otome Loves Battle Royale. I forgot I had this. I liked it, but I really disliked the end. And the only reason I disliked the end because it has no wrap up. This is a perfect manga to read if you can play the Otome game, like the actual Otome game that this is based off of. That would have been perfect. And I don't have it, but I really enjoyed how this series unfolded. It was a lot of fun. It was really good. I did hand that off because I knew I wouldn't come back to it because I was just so crushed that I never knew that my questions that I had did not get answered by the end, but it still was a lot of fun. My Darling Next Door. This is my favorite age gap manga that I've ever read. I feel like it shows that not all age gap is toxic, that it's not always bad, and it doesn't deserve all the hate that some of the age gap manga trope gets in general. This is so good. I related the characters so much, and the respect that was between the leads was everything. If you're like, all age gap is horrible, please read this, because no, there are respectful age gaps. There's no power play. The parents are involved. They're knowledgeable, and they're making good decisions, okay? This was everything that I loved, and it is still one of the best manga that I've read. I know I never talk about it, but it is very special to me because of how much I related to it, and I'm in an age gap marriage, and so I felt very representative in a positive way, and I'm like, we need more of that in age gap manga. Honey Lemon Soda. So good, so good. I'm definitely gonna do a video of the full series. I know it's still ongoing at like 20 something volumes. So excited. I love this series. It gets better and better with every single volume. Uka deserves the world. Oh my goodness, Boss Bride Days. So I typically don't like reverse harem, but I really love this first volume. It was so good. I think it's like 18 volumes. It's completed on Kodansha. It's a digital only. It was a blast. And if we ever got it physically, I most likely would pick it up because I really liked the main girl. I think her name was Sakura. And I liked all the 3 guys because something happens. She saves the grandpa. He is the head leader of a Yakuza. He's the Yakuza boss. And he tells his 3 boys, whoever wins her heart will be the next Yakuza boss. That is the shenanigans that unfold. She gets herself in some hot Yakuza mess with other, like, not like romantically, but like bad things happen. Her life's on the line. The guys come save her. Kind of that thing. It's a fun story though. I mean, I don't know how much depth it has, so to speak, but it is very, very fun. I really enjoyed it. Loving Yamada at level 999. Oh my goodness. So when I read this, I read it on Mangamo, read it 2 or 3 times, absolutely loved it. Actually, filming this video, the mailman came. My physical copy, hold on, let's check and see. Let me check my tracking real quick. My physical copy should be in my mailbox. It is in my mailbox. So after I film this video or finish filming this video, I'm gonna go get my copy of Loving Yamada because I am so excited to read this physically. I know that, including myself, I'm not a huge fan of the cover, of the English cover, I should say. The Japanese cover is amazing. But I know a lot of people are really upset about the English release and how it's been handled by the publisher. Yeah, I am not the biggest fan. I am not gonna say that I'm not, but I am just so thankful to finally have this series physically, and I'm definitely gonna use my voice to tell the publisher, like, hey, I wish things would have been different. I will keep picking it up because I just love the series too much not to, but I hope for the next release that you will do better with the translations and not just put the English translation over the Japanese, you know, words. Hopefully they do a lot better, but I'm very excited. It's so good. Please go read it. It's amazing. Oh, I am a cat barista. I just saw one of my friends talk about how she had read this. This is an amazing josei manga, 2 volumes. I made coffee. Yes, and come make coffee with me. That was a really fun video because yeah, I made homemade coffee. I can only have a little bit. I can't have regular coffee, especially can't have regular coffee, and I can't have decaf because it makes my heart race, but it was very, very good. And I had an energy boost. So it was very nice. It was very nice. But this was a very sweet manga. I read it at just the right time where I was going through some real life personal struggles, internal struggling. This series just brought me so much encouragement and was so very, very thankful that I read it. I would highly recommend if you need something to give you an extra boost to go through the day, just, you know, be encouraged and have affirmation poured into you that you're doing a great job because you are. Alice in the Country of Hearts. Yes, 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 yes. This was, I think, my first review that I did last year. Absolutely loved it. So good. I have since bought a few of the spin-offs. I still have one more on my TBR pile that I haven't read. It's of March Hare, but it is really, really good. Very unhinged. I forgot how unhinged it is when I came back to reread the series recently. I was like, oh, I forgot about that. A Galaxy Next Door. So I did a poll. I don't know what the poll was for. I think it was like between 2 anime. This one won. I still have not finished the series. I know volume 5 just released. No, volume 6, whatever the final volume is, it just released. The cover's super cute. I need to go back and I need to see how it unfolds. Okay, that's what it was. The Most Heretical Last Boss Queen from Villainous to Savior. That is the manga at Versed, or in the poll, I mean, and I still decided to review it because I love this series. It is very, very good. One of the best villainous manga I've ever read. Hands down, it is amazing, and I really need to go back and finish the anime. Me and my husband were actually just talking about that this morning. Those Not So Sweet Boys. Didn't I talk about this earlier? I did. It was the first impression. There we go. I was like, okay, so first impression was earlier. This one, Those Not So Sweet Boys, is the one I read. I mean, I said that earlier, but I read in a whole day. But I read the full series. But yeah, I have that. My Dear Detective. We just got the license announcement, physical license announcement from 7 Seas just last week. I am definitely wanting to get it. I really enjoyed it. I think I read the first 3 volumes digitally. Very good. I'm excited because Yusutoki Rhetoric is sadly ending later this year or early next year, and I need a mystery manga that's similar to help fill that void, and I think My Dear Detective is going to do that. Snow White with the Red Hair. Okay, so this was one of the winners of last year's shoujo manga event. I love Shirayuki. I love this series. It was absolutely amazing. I really am due for a reread because there's certain parts I don't remember. I loved it so much. So incredibly good. So thankful that it won last year. My Happy Marriage. I just saw on the Japanese, or Amazon Japan, excuse me, that volume 5, I think is just now up for pre-order. So hopefully we'll be getting it here soon in English. Oh, so much heartbreak in that 4th volume. I mean, this series is sort of a heartbreaking one, but it definitely has a lot of threads of hope. I was really glad that this one won, as well as Queen's Quality, which was so good. This is the second video on my channel, or review I should say, of where I got very emotional. I cried during the video. This series has deeply impacted me, changed my life in really big ways of how I viewed myself, how I viewed struggles and things I don't like about myself, and having a much more positive mindset about those things. So very good. Definitely has dark moments. I mentioned trigger warnings in the caption or description of that video, so definitely check it out if you're interested in reading it, but it is very good, would highly recommend. Twisted Wonderland, first impression of the first volume of the manga, so very good, so excited that volume 4 is coming. I've already pre-ordered the art book. I still have to get the Twisted Wonderland anthology. Very much looking forward to that. Anything Twisted Wonderland, like that was on my physical manga wish list. I hope that we get more of Twisted Wonderland stuff because I absolutely love it. I play the game every single day. So very good. My Coworker Has a Secret, very fun 2-volume series. Very much saw myself in this one and felt very validated. It was a very fun review for me and being able to share and talk about those things. Villainous level 99. I may be the hidden boss, but I'm not the demon lord. Wow. Okay. First off, I didn't even know that this video performed that well. I did not super love this first volume. I have read a little bit of volume 2, like the preview on Amazon. I'm very, very curious. This is actually a manga that I've been on the fence of coming back to, but would like to come back to. I still have, okay, I moved it. I still have this first volume and I liked it. It is just different than the typical villainous stuff that I read. And I don't know if I said in that video, but that's definitely very important because I don't like dumb airheaded villainous characters. May sound really bad. I love the comedy though, but I need a smart heroine. For this one, our main girl does not show a lot of facial expressions. And that was definitely a harder struggle for me because I'm sort of used to having that over the top comedy a little bit. That's not prevalent in this series. So if you're definitely looking for a villainous manga where yes, it has humor, but it's not over the top, the main character is more straight face, this is a good one. This is a good one. Plus, I really liked her obsession with gaming up or leveling up, excuse me. Very relatable. So I do want to come back to this one. I feel like it's super underrated. Like even with the anime, I felt like it was really underrated. My Love Story, finally read that not even a year ago. I buddy read this with Margaret's Manga and ProfOtaku. So fun. Very much enjoyed it. Bibliophile Princess. I think I read this series. I think I read up to volume 3, volume 4. I think I like reread it 2 or 3 times. So good. I want this physically printed so badly. It's so good. Very, very much enjoyed it. The Saint's Magic Powers Omnipotent. I love it. I love it. I think I talked about it earlier this week. Talk about it often. It's very good. Highly recommend it as well. I'm giving The Disgraced Noble Lady I Rescued a Crash Course in Naughtiness. I love this series. Have been continuing to read it. Yep, that's just the first impression. I think we are up to volume 5. I have up to volume 8 on my spreadsheet, but I think I've only pre-ordered like up to volume 7. Very much enjoying this series. It is so much fun. Tear Moon Empire. Didn't first love this series at first, and then I came back. Really, really enjoyed it. I have volume 4 next up on my TBR to read. The Haunted Bookstore, Gateway to a Parallel Universe. So I feel bad for this one because I thought it was a shonen manga because I did like, which of these shonen mangas should I read? It won, and then I found out that it was like a shoujo, and I was like, oh, my bad. I really enjoyed this one. It has a lot of heart. I did end up dropping it. I think I gave my volumes to my friend Maeve. It's only a 4-volume series, and that was ultimately what made me really sad is that it's only 4 volumes, and there's like 12 light novels or something like that. I just wanted more, but I really love the relationship that the main girl had with her dad. It was so good. I would have kept it for that reason, but since space is legit becoming a thing, or lack of space, excuse me, I decided I'm like, it's time to let it go, especially since I didn't feel like I would probably come back and reread it. Mint Chocolate. This is a series my friend Danielle got me hooked on. I think it was her, Summer Lee, and yeah, I'll leave a link down to Summer Lee's Instagram, and my friend Mark. I know me and Danielle talked in depth about this series, and I asked her a bunch of questions because it had a trope that I was unsure of, but I have loved this series so very much. It's funny because I think I even said it's like not a favorite, but then why is it every time I get a new volume, it's the very first one I read? If I get, say, like this last volume with volume 11, I think I got 4 other pre-orders or 4 other books that came that day. That was the one I read first. And even though I had planned to read something else, and within 30 minutes, I started actively reading it. I really, really enjoy it. It has so much heart the more the series goes on. It's very funny in the beginning, and you definitely still have that comedy as it goes on, but it just keeps getting better and better. My Lovesick Life is a 90s otaku. Very fun, Jose. Very fun. I am behind, but I really enjoyed volume 1. It was very, very good. And 7th Time Loop, absolutely obsessed. Really love it. I need a pen of these 2 so bad. I've been keeping an eye out. I've seen a lot of big pens that are on the more pricey side. I'm like, please somebody give me like a smaller chibi one that's like under $20. That would be great. That would be great because I want them represented in my collection. The next up is The Secret of Friendship, which was a standalone. I read that during the 25 days of shoujo manga. Reversea? I hope I'm saying her name right, but me and her sort of did a low-key buddy read. It was really great. I read it and then I came and spammed her and then we just spent like an hour talking about it. It was so good. It was so great. Very wonderful shoujo manga about friendship. Like legit, if you want something that is very focused and shows the beauty of friendship, this manga is it. It is amazing. Land of the Blindfolded was actually a recommendation I got during the 25 days of shoujo manga. Was supposed to be part of my shoujo event, but I ended up reading it sooner. I loved it. I believe my friend Carmen is the one that recommended it. So very good. And it was very exciting to see a lot of people message me when I shared a photo of it on Instagram saying, hey, I really loved this series too. I forgot all about it. Like that was really cool to see a lot of people come out and share about their love for it because it was amazing. And I'm so glad that she recommended it to me and so thankful that my husband like got this for me for Christmas. Love me not. I was just thinking about this manga the other day. I read it when I was really sick and I'm like, Laura, you need to go back to it because it was very wonderful. I love Yuna. Yuna's like one of those characters I feel like that I can just super relate to. Very, very good. I need to come back to this one. Another Yosaki Saka manga for the win. Josie the Tiger and the Fish. I feel like this won a poll or something. No. I was about to say I read it for Mark & Bazaar's one-shot readathon, but I read it before that time. This was very good. Very emotional. Beautiful art. Was very touched by this story. Highly would recommend it as well. The Girl with the Sanpaku Eyes. This was another one that was supposed to be in the event, the shoujo event as well, but I finally got that 5th volume and I knew it was not going to be able to wait and it was so very good. I absolutely loved it. Phenomenal series. It is a colored manga. The romance is so sweet. I love the development between the characters. It was just great in every single way. The Villainess's Guide to Not Falling in Love. Amazing. Amazing. I really enjoyed this. This was a series that was under the radar for me and then I got, because I was influenced, one of the best purchases I've made recently. Primitive Boyfriend. So good. My friend Bree got me the first 2 volumes for my birthday. Oh, it was so good. It was so good. This series surprised me in so many ways. I cried at the end. It has so much heart to it. So much everything. The art's really good. It's a very fun, action-packed series with a lot of heart. And then for my 99th review, The Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World only took me 6+ months to finally get it up because I filmed it last October. But here it is. And that is all of the manga that I have did positive reviews of, and it was a lot of fun to talk about some of these. Yeah, I forgot. I completely forgot that I had any of these. But if you're interested in checking out any of this, I'll leave either in the corner or down below for sure a link to the playlist so you can check out any of these videos, see what I thought. I hope that it proves helpful. Like if you've seen a series like, oh yeah, I've been curious about that one. Hopefully the review will help in determining like, should you or should you not pick it up? Would it be a good fit for you? Because that is why I do what I do. I mean, it's really fun, to be honest as well. I just love filming reviews and being able to gush about manga, hopefully like with no spoilers, but able to capture my emotions and how I felt when reading and why I felt that way. Manga is a beautiful and powerful thing, and more people need it in their life, in my opinion. So I would love to hear from you, friends. Are there any manga that just in general, doesn't matter the demographic, they're like, hey, I think you would like this. I'd love to see a review of it. Let me know. I do write them all down. I can't promise that I'll be able to read everything, but I would just love to see what you would recommend because, you know, I said everybody needs manga and manhwa in their life. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!